Well, welcome to the, oh, it says Q1 community call. This is the Q2 community call, but I assure you all of the slides are new. And yeah, we've got a lot to cover today. We're going to talk about regen coordination, the results, final results that we got from DeepGov, and a kind of sneak peek at what's coming next and the sort of roadmap for the rest of the year. And as well as that, we're going to dive into ReFi DAO 2.0. Louise and I and others in the ReFi DAO community have been super busy pulling all these different new pieces together. So I'm excited to kind of provide the high level overview of that and all the links to dive in further and get involved and learn more. And then we're going to look at the product launches that we've been working on in collaboration with Luke and Cello Public Goods and some other players. We've got Prosperity Pass, Regenerative.fi, and some other exciting announcements. And then, yeah, we'll finish it off with some Q&A at the end, and maybe if we have time, some participatory exercise to kind of do some reflections collectively. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, first, just some reflections on regen coordination. We've now finally wrapped up the last piece of the GG23 global round, which has been super exciting to go through. It's been a bit of a journey. And the last update is, we distributed 90K to 50 projects using the Gitcoin grant stack mechanism. And we actually reserved 6K of that to put in towards this more experimental partnership with DeepGov that have been developing these super interesting AI politicians that essentially the community votes them in. And I think it was Panda the Regenerator that ended up winning the highest proportion. And then those AI agents go and score and rank the projects in the round. And those scorings we've used to allocate the final 6K. It's not like a huge amount of money, but it's an initial experiment and, super interesting results. There's definitely a lot to still improve on, but as a new mechanism for capital allocation, I think it's really interesting. And I'd really love anyone in the call who had a project in the regen coordination round, read through the detailed reviews that each of the agents provided. And maybe even compare it to the kind of other reviews that we did that you might have already read from the main round with GPT and Gemini. Would be really interested to hear people's feedbacks. Was it helpful? Was it accurate? Where was it good? Where was it bad? And do you agree with the decisions that it made? So all comments and feedback would be welcome. And so, yeah, that's all live. We'll have payouts happening next week. They've been a little bit delayed, the payouts on this, because Gitcoin grant stack is down, and we're looking at Karma Gap building a new solution to do the payouts on chain. And we'll have that live hopefully by, I'm pretty sure by next week. So I'll do another update when the payouts have been fully set up. So yeah, beyond that, what's next? Well, many of you probably are already familiar with Gitcoin's transition, the Gitcoin 3.0 with grant stack shutting down and changes to Allo protocol and all of the kind of deep grant ecosystem stuff that's been going on. And so with regen coordination, we got in the final 3 voting for rounds during GG23. And so that means we're guaranteed to get some funding for GG24. And just wanted to kind of give a sneak peek of what we're starting to plan and what we're cooking to building towards GG24, which is estimated now to happen in October. And yeah, with grant stack winding down, we're really leaning into Karma Gap and working very closely with Mahesh to continue to evolve that platform and hopefully make it an all-in-one solution for Web3 grants, because many of you already have your projects there. And so it should make the process much smoother for applying to new grants and things like that. And a combination with DeepGov with the AI agents, I think will be super interesting. And yeah, the big high level plan is that we'll move from maybe just having this one global round to having these network of local funding rounds. So many of you are part of a community, maybe it's a ReFi node, a Greenpool chapter, or even a different community in your local area. Well, we want to provide a kind of matching pool that is able to fund local rounds and run, rounds across the globe in local communities. And yeah, how we envision that working is if the kind of number one requirement, really, I guess. We'll be looking for communities who are able to raise some matching funds locally, even at the small scale from local impact investors or governments or whatever it is. And then we'll do a kind of matching program where Celo maybe matches some of that as well, Gitcoin, maybe even Ethereum Foundation, so we can double or triple the size of your local matching pool. And so, yeah, we're building towards that vision. This is all kind of in the scoping phase at the moment, but wanted to share that in case anyone in the call would be interested in engaging something like that. Please do send me a message, and we can start even scoping it out, because it takes a lot to run around, so it's good to start preparing early. So yeah, please do reach out if that sounds interesting. Cool. So that's Regen Coordination update and what's next. And I'd love to now shift gears and introduce to ReFi DAO 2.0, which we've been building towards for quite a while now. The DAOification of ReFi DAO, it's gone through a lot of ideas and kind of different phases, but we've really had the time over the past couple of weeks to get all of these pieces, or many of them, in place. And so, yeah, I'd love to introduce that and what we've been working on and some of the key kind of building blocks that we now have in place. So, yeah, to start with, just a kind of macro view of ReFi DAO as a network, and really seeing these kind of three distinct clusters of the organizational structure: the kind of ReFi DAO Global, the core stewards, myself, Louise, others, contributors, advisors, who are really kind of creating the governance, legal frameworks and driving that kind of global network operations. And then the local nodes, of course, some examples there, but autonomous local communities, aligned with the global ReFi DAO mission and vision. And also these network initiatives, things like the ReFi podcast, ReFi EBF, the ReFi DAO blog, maybe uses the ReFi DAO brand, but again, might have an autonomous team, but working in alignment with the global network. And so, yeah, with that structure, we've started to bring ReFi DAO on chain and kind of as part of the DAOification process, establishing these different roles within those structures to kind of, facilitate more people coming into the network at different scales and capacities. And so one of the kind of entry level roles accessible for everyone in the network is this network members role. And it's hopefully should be a smooth onboarding process anyone can do. If you have a Web3 wallet, you can go to guild.xyz/ReFi DAO, and there should be a whole bunch of kind of badges you can collect and ways to kind of engage. But the main thing to do to actually become a network member is you'll see a link to sign this community covenant. And I think Louise might share a link in the chat. But yeah, after this call, if you have a few minutes to read the community covenant and sign it, you will then officially be a network member, and you'll get the on-chain hat, and that will unlock access to the new Telegram group that we've set up, various other gated resources, and give you a level 1 ReFi DAO badge in the Prosperity Pass, which we'll get to a bit more later in the call. So yeah, this is the community covenant on HAT protocol. And yeah, like I say, if you have a Web3 wallet, you should just be able to click on the link, read through the covenant and sign it, and you'll get the hat. And yeah, with that hat, you can access the Telegram group, and yeah, you should see this is the guild representation of it will then register on Guild that you've got that role. And hopefully that should work, although there is a bug with Guild, so it might be, but I'm informed it is being fixed, but yeah, see how that works. And do reach out if they have any troubles there. Hopefully we have Luke now in the call, who might be able to speak up, but basically in a second, we're going to introduce Prosperity Pass, which is launching today, which is super exciting. But yeah, what this badge does, we've launched the ReFi DAO badge, and essentially we have this contribution system where you can earn points for writing a blog or donating on Gitcoin or being a guest on the ReFi podcast, being a local node leader, and all of those points add up to give you a level of 1 to 5 contributor to ReFi DAO, which will kind of track and update each season, which will probably be biannually, basically. And then we'll push that on chain, and then you will have your kind of on-chain reputation within ReFi DAO to celebrate the contribution, but also then unlock various governance roles and support resource allocation and other kind of things within the ReFi DAO network. So yeah, excited to share that. And if Luke is here, maybe he could unmute himself and say hello.
Hello, hello.
Woo!
I am here. Cool. First of all, Auntie, this is awesome. You're making so much progress, but I also want to recognize that this is a lot of content for people. So I want to take a deep breath in. I understand that there's a lot of new things coming. But I also want to note that this is probably a big leap for us. And I do imagine that once you get used to all of these things, it's going to feel very organic and it should be simpler from now on. I think this really is kind of really a change evolution in, for example, ReFi DAO, but also around, for example, the Celo community. There's a relatively big kind of evolution. And I just want to recognize that, hey, this is a lot and you don't need to understand all of it instantly. And I think hopefully it's going to click more and more as time progresses. But yeah, super excited to share a bit more about Prosperity Pass that we've been making. And Monty, maybe I can share I'll let you share your screen. It's okay. I'm not allowed to share my screen, so I don't know if that's going to work or if you can.
Sorry, I've just made you co-host. I was on mute.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool. So maybe before I jump in, maybe raise your hand, virtual hand or physical can also, if you've ever transacted on Celo before. Let's do virtual hand because I can't see all the faces in one. I see 1, 2, 3. See thumbs up from Guy. Cool. So there seems to be quite a good overlap, which I think is very positive because we have been running a lot of ReFi DAO and Regen Coordination programs on Celo. As you may know, Monty and myself are also deeply involved into Celo Public Goods, the public goods funding arm of Celo that is really committed to rewarding positive activity for the world and on Celo. And as part of that, we've been building this solution called Prosperity Pass, which allows people to, 1, get recognized for their on-chain impact, and 2, get rewarded for their on-chain impact. And we're not, let's say, formally launching today, but we're soft launching it with all of you to welcome you in as one of the first users of this new solution. What we have developed is built on top of the Safe protocol. Safe is one of the most used multi-sig solutions. It's a specific type of wallet that is very battle tested. So the solution can also be essentially very safe. That's kind of the short of it. The solution has a couple of key flows that we would love for you to try out. The first one is the badges page. So all of the badges you see here are either on-chain or off-chain activities that contribute to the regenerative movement and Celo. So for example, there's a Celo Genesis badge. What did you say, Monty?
Are you sharing your screen or not?
Yes, I am. Does no one see it?
Oh, I can see it.
I see it.
Okay. Cool. So there's different badges. So for example, there's the whenever you created your first wallet, the amount of donations you did through Gitcoin, but also ReFi DAO membership, which is tracked with this kind of ReFi DAO point system that Monty mentioned. And I think we'll probably keep talking about more and more as we progress. But there's also other things like Glow Dollar, Eco Credit Retirement. There's essentially a lot of kind of net positive activities that we're measuring. And based on the accounts that you connect into your Prosperity Pass, so here on the right side, you can connect any wallet that you have engaged with on the blockchain to it. So you can click on here, connected wallets. You can add your address here and then accept it.
Oh no, we might have lost Luke. This sometimes happens on his laptop, on his desktop crashes. I'm on calls regularly with Luke, and this unfortunately has happened a few times before. But I'm sure he will be back any second. And I, in the meantime, can actually share my screen and pick it up from there. Replace current share. Okay, can people see that? Is this visible for people?
Yes.
Yes,
Nice.
it is.
Nice. Luke will be back any second, but basically, yeah, you can connect all of your different wallets. So we know many people have different wallets, and I think one of the previous struggles with reputation is that exact kind of thing. But by linking them together, it can pull all of the metrics on chain for all of the various bits, and then all of that data will then feed into calculating the various badges. And so with that all coming together, you can kind of get a sense of what is your on-chain reputation in the Celo ecosystem, and with different clusters, whether that's ReFi DAO, whether that's Green Pill, whether that's a Celo regional DAO, or other communities. And this is at the moment just deployed on Celo, and there's a super chain version of it as well. And of course, be looking to kind of further grow it from there. I see we've got Luke back. And yeah, and then all of those basically add up to getting a overall kind of leaderboard, and we'll also kind of break down the leaderboard into different communities and things like that, so you can see how you compare in different communities with your on-chain data. And if Luke is back, please unmute yourself and we can finish the demo. Oh, and look, this Vaults is live as well. I actually hadn't seen that this has become live as well. So it's actually a smart account built on Safe as well. So you can deposit assets into your account, and then also interact with various apps natively within the interface. So it becomes that kind of easy place. And one of those systems is also a kind of vault where you can easily get some yield on your savings, and hopefully in quite a easy and clean way compared to some other kind of DeFi protocols.
Thanks for taking over, Monty.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, no, I'm only on my mobile. My desktop is very unreliable these days, so I'm happy to just voice guide people through and let you do the clicking. But
Sure.
The vault solution is something new that we're adding. It's not the top priority now, but soon there will be good rewards available for those that deposit their stable coins there. We really want to do the curation for people so they don't have to look themselves for kind of safe yield opportunities, but instead only provide you access to like the best ones. Right now, we don't charge any fee or anything on there, so it's just an interface to, in this case, Aave, which is one of the most developed lending solutions. I think the flow that is most relevant for the people here today is just trying to create the account. I think Monty can circulate the link in a bit, claiming your first badges, seeing if you're able to connect some of your wallets, claim the badges, and then ultimately every couple days or every couple hours we update the leaderboard. So maybe I think you already showed them the leaderboard. I think one of the flows that is the coolest one to really check out is verifying the country of your passport through Self Protocol, and that attaches your flag to your account. I think the combination of making your avatar, adding your name, adding your flag, claiming some badges, I think it's already really creating a cool like identity layer. And the process for updating, I see Kaz adding like we fetch data every couple hours, and then you're able to claim your badges from the interface. So yeah, this is the Prosperity Pass app. We're gonna allow all of you to test it out. Please let us know if you run into any trouble. How would you experience this? Yeah, I see here now with a really good question. Can I add multiple passports if I have a dual identity? We haven't tried it yet, so please give it a shot. Let me know if it works. And I think we should be able to allow that. We just haven't thought about it yet. So these are exactly the edge cases that we hope to uncover before we go like widely public. So please give it a shot. Take some notes. You can share that either with Monty or myself. And maybe Monty can go to the apps and just very briefly show them if you go to account on the left side.
Yep.
In there in the middle, don't click on it, Monty, but just want people to acknowledge that over here you can see the Regenerative.fi exchange, which is another project that we are very close to launching. It's already functional. I'm not going to cover it too much today, but if you have experience trading tokens on chain and you want to give it a shot, you can either click on it through the widget here or visit the website Regenerative.fi. This is also not let public, but please give it a spin if you have experience with that. And the idea really is that with your final input, we're going to tweak the final things and have both launch sometime next week.
Awesome stuff. Thanks so much, Luke. Yeah, I just wanted to share some other high level kind of visioning of why I'm so excited about this as well. I think one of the cool things that we'll be able to do now is kind of look at the on-chain data of all of the people, say, in the ReFi DAO network, or all of the people in Greenpill or in ReFi Colombia, if they have their Prosperity account, and then be able to look at the kind of on-chain data of that community and assess like, oh, how much have they invested in Ethic Hub or done other ReFi actions on chain? And that will then influence various kind of grant programs and allocations and airdrops and really be able to kind of build a new economy and really measure what's going on in that new economy and be able to allocate resources to kind of drive the economic engine in exciting new directions, in regenerative directions. So yeah, I really see this as a core tool, and this is the first iteration going live, but I really see this kind of evolving over many years and hopefully becoming really accessible as well to kind of normal people as well in the future. But right now it is obviously got a more of a Web3 type focus. So yeah, that's Prosperity Pass, and yeah, really excited to have been able to show that. It's something, ReFi Passport is something we've been dreaming about at ReFi DAO for many years now, and yeah, just really grateful to be able to build that with alongside Luke and launch this product is a huge milestone. So yeah, grateful for you, Luke, and team and everyone, and yeah, really excited to hear what people think and to see how it all evolves. Cool. We'll definitely have some time for questions at the end. So if there's any kind of questions there, feel free to leave it in the chat or brew on them. But I'll keep going with the presentation and yeah, cover a few more bits. So you've signed the network members community covenant. You've got your badge on Prosperity Passport. What next in ReFi DAO? What's the next stage? Well, we've just set up three different gardens pools. Now, I'm going to take this slowly because people might not be familiar with gardens. It's essentially a way to put funding into a pool and then have different people vote on how to allocate that funding in the pools. And so depending on the kind of focus of the pool, people can submit a proposal and then the community, the ReFi DAO community who have the badge and the on-chain reputation can then vote on which proposals they want to see passed and receive funding. And so right now we have three different pools live, each with about $2,000 to $3,000 in there, and we're hoping to get some more funding in those pools and kind of top them up each quarter or half year. And so yeah, let's quickly cover what each pool is about, and maybe you might see an opportunity to apply for some funding in ReFi DAO. So yeah, the first pool is about ReFi DAO network initiatives. We introduced this at the beginning of the call, but essentially, initiatives like ReFi Podcast, which have done 3 or 4 seasons now, the ReFi DAO blog, ReFi EBF, even Prosperity Passport, for example, is an aligned ReFi DAO network initiative. And so maybe you have an idea of, oh, I want to start a ReFi Women's Circle or launch this new app that's going to solve some problem. Well, you could write a proposal and get a little bit of funds to do that here if the community votes on it. We'll share links to dive into all of this stuff deeper if you want, but I would love to just provide a kind of high-level overview so that folks know what's out there. And yeah, the other thing we've set up is a local node, local ReFi toolkit funding pool. And this is part of Regen Coordination, actually, so at a higher level. But essentially, we have the local ReFi toolkit, which is a collection of different ReFi strategies that you can deploy in your local community, whether that's planting trees with Sylvie protocol or setting up a multi-sig safe and allocating resources, basically different regen things you can do. And we want to get more people contributing to this toolkit writing playbook, documenting case studies. So if you've done something interesting in your local community, if you've implemented a playbook, if you're even a founder of a ReFi project, then you can apply to this pool, get some funding to kind of document that playbook and help spread that methodology to other communities across the globe. And we can kind of help promote and distribute that knowledge to other networks and communities. So yeah, that's the Regen Coordination Local ReFi Toolkit funding pool. And then the final pool we have is the ReFi Local Node Kickstarter pool. And that is part of the new local nodes onboarding process. But essentially, if you are a new local node or not even set one up yet, then you can go through the onboarding process and then apply to this pool to receive some kind of initial seed funds, maybe to run your first event or implement your first project, just to get started. And then that will hopefully be a springboard to then access the larger rounds that we will be planning and other grant funding and funding opportunities in the wider Web3 space. So yeah, a kind of Kickstarter pool for new local ReFi communities. And so yeah, just briefly touching then on that a bit more without going into too much detail, because I can share the kind of links for people who want to dive in more. But Louise and I have been working hard to define a kind of new self-serve method for anyone who's interested to start a ReFi local node to go through that process, and hopefully should be much easier with the documentation that really explains, what is a local node and how, and what is the kind of agreements. We've drafted the first version of the ReFi DAO local node membership agreement that will be aiming for all local node leaders to sign on chain, that kind of outlines, what are the agreements of relationship between ReFi DAO Global and the local node. What are the benefits? What are the commitments, responsibilities that kind of outline that and kind of create this mutual agreement for all local nodes and enable the local nodes to access the funding rounds and the graphic assets and the other resources that ReFi DAO has developed to support local nodes. So that will be all part of the new kind of onboarding process. And yeah, I think, Louise has shared the link for that in the chat. And of course, if there's any questions, we can address that in the Q&A. But yeah, that's the new process for local nodes. And yeah, we're getting there now. We've covered a fair bit. And I think rather than trying to explain every detail, I've tried to provide more of a high-level overview. And then these two new sites that we've kind of launched, which you'll be able to dive in to find much more details and other stuff that I haven't managed to get to. But yeah, the two links up here on the screen, we've got regencoordination.xyz/ReFi DAO, and that will take you to our resources hub, where we're putting all of the key documentation from just getting started, exploring the ecosystem, to actually really joining deeper into ReFi DAO, whether that's at a local node level, a network initiative, maybe you even want to join ReFi DAO Global and help steward and govern the global network. All of the resources to understand how to do that should be in this hub. And if they're not, or you think they're rubbish, let us know and we'll update them and improve them. And so, yeah, that's the resources hub. And where can you give feedback and engage in discussions? This is where the second link comes in, which is currently at hub.regencoordination.xyz. We're very grateful to Greenpill Network, who basically agreed to transition their discourse forum into the Regen Coordination forum. And so we now have both ReFi DAO and Regen Coordination and other partners joining in on this forum to have a kind of unified forum space for the ReFi and Regen movement in Web3. And yeah, there's already a bunch of content populated there, topics that might be of interest. So go have a look at that and yeah, leave some feedback, start some discussions. Let's grow things together. Nice. Well, we're pretty much there. There's a POAP basically for everyone who's turned up to the call. And guess what? You'll get some points that will feed into your ReFi DAO on-chain badge with the POAP. So hopefully this works. I'm going to try it now on my phone as well. So I'll leave it up on the screen for just a second. And maybe let's also post the, so yeah, if you don't have the POAP app, you need to download something called POAP Home, is the app, and you can download it on the App Store, whatever you're on. And then once you have the app, you can then somehow connect your wallet in there. I can't remember exactly how they do it. And then, yeah, there's a secret code. You can, when you click to mint a POAP, you can then, there's one called secret word. And then you should be able to enter in this code that's on the screen, ReFi DAO. Okay, hopefully this is working. 25. Okay, nice. All right, it seems to be working for me. Hopefully the same for others. We're not putting the link in the chat because we've had some troubles with links sometimes. But what you can do is, yeah, download the app and we'll paste the secret code in the chat so that I'm going to move on from the slide now. But Louise will post the ReFi-DAO-Q2-25. And so you can still use that secret word to claim your POAP. So that's pretty much the end of the presentation, but I did just want to give a sneak peek at one more thing, and Luke has already kind of referred to it. But essentially, this is the other platform that we're launching in collaboration with Luke and Cello PG. Regenerative.fi. And if you've ever sort of done on-chain investments in DeFi or in other ReFi projects, maybe you've got an Ethic Hub loan or have some Cello stablecoins. Well, essentially, we're building, hopefully, the go-to ReFi liquidity hub. So you can supply your tokens and invest your various ReFi assets and get a yield for doing that. And we'll also be supporting other projects in getting their tokens live and liquid so that they can actually be tradable and have a market cap and be successful. I think for too long, the ReFi space has had very few examples of successful large-scale token launches that have, retained and grown in value. Hopefully, we're at a turning point now, having just been through quite a big ReFi bear market. We're seeing out the other side, and I think there's some really exciting potential to really accelerate the ReFi movement and regenerative assets on chain. And so, yeah, we'll be doing some final updates on this platform over the coming week or so, and then launching it. But it will have both the kind of insights section, some of the best curated content and research in the ReFi space, and a kind of a way to look at all of the different tokens and assess all of the different projects. And then the actual app, which will allow you to invest in these liquidity pools and ultimately other on-chain regenerative activities. And so, yeah, really excited to launch that. And one other thing I would mention is that the plan with this is a bit of alpha, is to ultimately launch the ReFi token, which will be an integral part of this platform. And will have various benefits to staking it in order to kind of incentivize and boost different pools. We'll share more details about the kind of exact token economics if that's something that interests you. But we are planning to do a ReFi token distribution to people who have got a good score on their ReFi, on their Prosperity Pass. So if you haven't already, make sure you do go to the Prosperity Pass application, mint your badges, and maybe try and collect as many as you can before this app launches. I guess I should probably say not financial advice and all of the other legal stuff that I'm not fully acquainted with. But yeah, this is really exciting, and we'll definitely be sharing more details on this roadmap very, very soon. So yeah, that's the main updates that we had to share, and we've got about 10 minutes left of the call. So I'd love to switch to any Q&A if anyone had any questions they wanted to ask. I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, we also do have this final kind of collective reflection exercise that we could do as well. Yeah, please raise your hand if you have any questions, but I also see there's some in the chat as well, but maybe, yeah, Andre.
Hi, Monty. How are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to see you.
Some meetings ago, we talked about you asked some help on the legal side of the DAO. I think it was last year, and I'm available. And we talk about I think it was contracts. I don't know. Fernando should know, and I'm available to help. So I'm here, and
Wow.
also with data analytics.
Amazing, Andre. So you have some legal expertise that you're willing to offer to the local nodes or the network at large, even ReFi DAO Global. That would be super.
Yes, yes. We already talked about this. It was no, if it was an issue, I think it was related to contracts. So it was something about the international relationship about the nodes with the DAO. I don't know
exactly. Exactly. So yeah, just to follow up on that point, I think if you dig into the new local node agreement that we've outlined, at the moment that's a kind of in good faith agreement that both parties will sign kind of on chain. And so yeah, definitely would love any feedback on that. But we also have established a legal entity with Luke out in Curacao, the Regenerative Finance Foundation, that will serve as kind of ReFi DAO Global's fiscal sponsor. So that's the kind of legal arrangement at the moment. And we also have really exciting other legal innovations going on with Regen Commons, trying to create legal structures to govern and commons shared kind of assets and things like that. So I definitely love to loop you in, Andre, to some of those discussions, and maybe we can get a forum post going on and discussing some of the nuances there. That would be awesome.
Okay, I'm available here to help, and also if you need dashboards, Power BI dashboards, I'm available to help the DAO.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Andre. I think Tanya was next. Have I pronounced that right?
Hi, Monty.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Well, thank you. Well, the question is, do you have some information on like ReFi DAO or ReFi in general for dummies? Just to get into it and find a way to get myself more informed on this, because I sort of feel that there's some things that I understand, but there are tons of others that I know many of you are very familiar with.
Yeah.
But it's not as that for many people. So
sure. For sure. Let me share some resources that might be helpful. And maybe others in the chat could also share some resources that might be good for getting started. I think one of the places is here. Look, what is ReFi? But also Green Pill have a great selection of resources and books that we might share as well. And I think we should try and develop some other educational resources that are much more targeted at people from different backgrounds and audiences. Maybe people, one sort of set for people who are more in the traditional regen sustainability space, or people who come from a finance background, and kind of introducing these different people and backgrounds. But I'd love it if anyone else had any resources that really help them. If they could share it in the chat. I think also Carbon Copy, I'll share that as well. They have some brilliant resources. And of course the ReFi DAO blog has some good nuggets in there for sure.
Great, thanks.
Awesome. Michael, I think you were next.
Also, just thanks in general for the presentation today and to Luke and all the stuff you guys been doing behind the scenes. I'm not gonna pitch, but I've been away from the space for a bit, but I was with you guys at the ReFi cohort, the first one with Ikota, and listed as an expert there, and was there at the beginning, and then was on a very long parental leave and now a lot of my main project is kind of pivoting and really ramping up, and it's really exciting. And I was wondering if I could talk to somebody who would be a good point of contact, because I would like to get more integrated with obviously this guild sounds great. I'd definitely like to support and participate there, but also possibly as a local node and kind of share what our project's doing. And we are also doing this thing where we're also offering like a micro grant, and we'd like you guys to maybe put some names forward who might be eligible. We're not codifying it, but we're very like DAO friend. I mean, I believe in DAO, but I don't want to codify certain things for some of the security vulnerabilities that are there. But we're very DAO supportive, but not everything that we're doing a lot of manual governance, but with full transparency. So again, I'm not trying to pitch, but who would be the best person? I copied a couple links and I'm on my mobile.
Where are you based? Where are you based? Where do you live?
I'm based in Italy right now, but our main pilot, which is kicking off, is in Kenya and Indonesia, and then we've got a couple validators here in rural Italy, and then in Catalonia and Aragon, Spain. I've lived in all of those places except for Kenya, and also extended years in China.
Amazing.
So,
well, I would really recommend getting in touch with some of the local nodes. I know we've got a very strong local node community in Italy, and I think there's definitely some ReFi folks in Kenya as well. So I can point you towards some resources to get connected to local nodes and the various people there. And yeah, also happy to chat as well. And
yeah,
maybe if you post your contact details in the chat, then others can kind of reach out as well.
chucked my LinkedIn, but if there's somebody that would be easier, I also don't want to overwhelm you. I know you got a full plate. I know you got, I think, I get how it goes. If there's someone that might be an easier, and also we're in the middle of this mad sprint, and I also don't want to take up everybody's time. So if you could, if you can just think of something, you want to drop me something in the chat, or I don't know, I might message Luke, DM Luke via LinkedIn, and maybe he could point me in the right person that I could kind of see if we could sync up a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, definitely share your contact details in the chat and we'll connect. That'll be great. Awesome. Nice to meet you, Michael.
Today.
Thanks for coming. Kaz, hello.
Hey, awesome presentation today. I always love these quarterly updates. Just wondering if you wouldn't mind for efficiency, just do rapid fire answers to some of the questions in the chat.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me scroll up. So I've got the one from Will. Is that the one you're referring to? Maybe if you could voice the ones that I'm missing, but the one from Will, for Gardens funding, what if we have created a solution that assists local communities to bypass onboarding challenges? Would that qualify? We already have some ReFi local node leaders involved. I think given that you already have some local node leaders involved, and if some alignment and synergy with ReFi DAO, with local nodes, with other network initiatives can be worked out, explicitly stated, and kind of those deliverables there, then I think it definitely could be a proposal that would be in consideration for the network initiatives pool. And then it would be up to the ReFi DAO badge holders and the community to vote on and kind of put conviction on those proposals. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. But yeah, feel free to send me a message if you need any guidance of that. But we've developed kind of really, hopefully detailed enough documentation to guide through the whole process of how to go about that. So yeah, have a look at the documentation hub links that I shared. And of course, reach out to myself or Louise if you have any challenges. Quick note, I will be on holiday for almost 2 weeks now, which is super exciting, but basically from tomorrow. I will still be vaguely contactable, but don't be offended if I don't respond for a little bit. It's been a very full-on year and a half, so I'm excited to have some holiday. But yeah, Michael, go for it. Or Canas. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but if you have a question, feel free to unmute.
GM, am I audible now? Hi, Monty, am I audible now?
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I wanted to ask you. Okay, cool. You shared the updated documentation for the ReFi DAO in the group. So I've been wanting to ask, how can one be a core contributor in the ReFi DAO?
Sorry, could you share that question again? I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, I said the new documentation for the ReFi DAO, you shared it in a group, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the question is, how can one be a core contributor in ReFi DAO?
How can you become a contributor to ReFi DAO?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, well, hopefully the resources that we've just put together in the last few days even should explain exactly that. So as I kind of touched on at the beginning of the call, the first stage is to become a network member. And that is basically all you need to do is sign this on-chain agreement that you agree to the values, the vision, the mission, principles of ReFi DAO. And that gets you in the door to the initial Telegram groups, and then there's other ways to contribute and sort of build your reputation and apply to be a local node leader or join a network initiative or other things like that. So hopefully the new resources hub, go to regencoordination.xyz/ReFi DAO and have a dig through there, and hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, like I say, if any questions, feel free to ping us. And cool, we're at time there, so feel free if you need to hop. I'm happy to stay on for an extra minute if someone has a burning question that didn't get answered. But what we usually do to end the call is if everyone can put on their cameras, and we'll do a final picture, selfie, document everyone who was here, get some silly smiles going. And you might see it on Twitter or Telegram later in the week. So get ready. I can see almost a full screen of cameras. Get your cameras on. 3, 2, 1. Yoo-hoo! Or I should do a Jimmy. Given Jimmy's here, let's do a Jimmy. Go on. 3, 2, 1. Let's grow!
Let's grow!
Oh, beautiful. Thanks so much, everyone. It's been an awesome start to the year. And yeah, super excited for what's next. I'll be having a little break and then coming back raring to go in the build up towards GG24 and all of the other exciting things for the rest of the year. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for coming. Like I say, I will stay on for a couple minutes, but please do hop if you need to. But yeah, peace. Nice. Well, for whoever else is still on the call, if you want to unmute and say hello and ask a question or just chat for a couple minutes, I'll stay definitely for a couple more minutes. But otherwise, yeah.
Where are you going on holiday, Monty?
I'm going to Athens, to Greece, with some school friends.
Wow.
We're renting a boat and just going around the islands, which will be fun. Yeah. I'll be fully unplugged, hopefully, in the sun, just swimming around. But yeah, so that's going to be very fun.
It's important. Gotta do it. Nice. Yeah, we'll look into that stuff, by the way. But as far as Italy, where I am, is so remote. I guarantee you guys do not have nodes.
Well, we have
region
Sicily. ReFi Sicily is very active with Antonio, and Calabria.
Yeah, I'm in between Naples and Rome, but on the other coast, on the Adriatic side, in the foothills of the Adriatic side, in Abruzzo, which is one of the most preserved and greenest spaces of Europe. But it's remote. It takes me longer to get to the UK than when I lived in China from here.
Damn. Okay, it's out.
But it's great.
Nice. And it sounds like you're a bit quite nomadic, traveling around various different places.
Yeah, I think I was a bit early for the nomadic thing. I stayed usually 7-8 years at a time, so I'm definitely more of a polyglot integrator than just a digital nomad, because I'm old.
Cool. I see we've got a hand up here. If you want to unmute.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Monty. Hi, everyone. This is Martin Coma from Uruguay. I'm an architect. I like to comment, but for me, which I'm a person who builds. I'm building right now. I have my hands on the ground, and for me it's very difficult to connect this whole Web3 online movement with real world. And I tried a lot of time to connect and to go through all the presentations and everything, but for me sometimes it's like it's too much. So because I'm already doing a lot of things, innovations and everything, and I have without any resources, and I think that the Gitcoin it's a chapter, it's a great opportunity, but so far I couldn't like connect with my message. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I can have some like explain online. For me it's going to be much easier to explain to somebody what I'm doing, but rather than writing a paper, because it's not working for me. So
yeah,
I
think what I would recommend is, I'm not sure exactly where you said you were based, but kind of the whole thesis and the kind of whole point really, or one of the main points of ReFi local nodes, is to be that bridge between the online Web3 ReFi world and the local on the ground projects, communities, land-based initiatives. And so, you know, depending on where you are, you may be able to connect to some, you know, ReFi Web3 community person who might be able to join and support your project and kind of maybe establish a local node and really connect the work that you're doing on the ground and bring that into the wider space and support that side of the operations. So maybe that could be a good path forward.
Yeah, I know that, but we try to make one ReFi node here in Uruguay, but for now it's like it has stopped. Nobody's pushing it. So in my belief, I would love that to go back and to push it, but I haven't, as I told you, have no time for that right now. So and I'm not very familiar with online and all this tokenized world and everything. So I like feel that I have to make the connection some way, but I'm not achieving it.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it's a very difficult balance. I think, you know, many other people have expressed a similar thing, and it is a very difficult challenge because it's in some ways in order to like operate effectively online, like we need to be able to access the information and connect using these tools. But at the same time, I will definitely understand that for land-based projects, for communities on the ground, that can also be challenging, overwhelming, difficult, and there's already a lot of things going on. And so part of the whole thing that we've been trying to do is make those tools and processes at least incrementally more accessible. And now, at least with AI and things like that, it is becoming easier to do this. And you know, I can now, with the various AI tools, process a lot of information quite quickly and reproduce. And so yeah, things hopefully are becoming easier, but I understand it's still a challenge. And yeah, there's no kind of perfect solution really, but hopefully, yeah, maybe that's just something we can continue to sense out together and yeah, see how things progress.
My suggestion, or from my point of view, I know it's time is costly and we don't have it, but when maybe with a 15 minutes online presentation with somebody that it is already in the system, it is easy to explain, and then to receive feedback to what to do, because if not, you just begin and you never
and I
end.
think that's definitely what the whole idea, I guess, again with ReFi local nodes, with also the regional nodes. So for example, we have like ReFi Mediterranean, which is a bioregional scale node across, you know, all of Spain, Italy, and that is able to create the container to bring local land-based projects who are maybe not in this space to present their work, to access some funding from the rounds they're running, to onboard them onto the various platforms, to identify what ReFi Web3 solutions could enhance and support the work they're doing. But I think for me, it really makes sense to do it in that more regional way. Like it doesn't make sense for me at the global layer, or even others at the global, to be assessing all these projects that are completely on the other side of the world, because it's very difficult to gain that much context and there's just too many things going on. So that's the whole kind of model with the local nodes and the bioregional nodes and that kind of whole architecture. So if you can connect with other people locally, connect with maybe some of the more, if there is a meta structure of bioregional coordination going on, then those kind of organizations should be, you know, maybe be able to help. So that's the aim. We're still young and early. You know, not all of the locations are live, and you know, some communities die out and don't have the resources and teams. So you know, it's just something we're trying to make it happen, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you,
and just quickly connecting on that, also there's quite a few local nodes already established in South America. There's one in Córdoba in Argentina. There's also a few in Brazil. I do think that there may be already like some community in Uruguay. So yeah, if you'd like, feel free to ping me on Telegram, and then I can also like direct you to what are the local nodes like closer to you that can like be helpful to change learnings and so on. And yeah, I think that'd be good. Could be good.
Thank you, Luz. I will contact you on Telegram.
Amazing. Thank you. And
thanks, guys.
Tania.
I feel the same as I didn't catch your name, Arquitectura Regenerativa. But yeah, it's quite similar, because we spend a lot of time in the field and doing things, and then trying to catch up with the technical and the for me it's like an abstract world. It's quite a whole new world, but I'm willing to learn and to dive into it. So thanks for all the links you sent, and I catch your names in Luis in Telegram, which I'm not very used to get into.
We do have a WhatsApp as well, but I have to admit it's not hugely active. I know. We prefer Telegram because it is just have more features, and you don't require exchanging of phone numbers and, you know, things like that.
Yes, it's safer. I know. Yeah. Well, it's a matter of user, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
But anyway, grateful for you coming to the call and, you know, just getting stuck in. I do very much appreciate that it is a lot of different things to learn and stuff. But hopefully some of it resonates or clicks. And like I say, yeah, we continue to try and provide more resources and stuff to make more sense and be easier. But yeah,
I will dive into it, and in case I have, well, there will be questions. I will contact you.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much. Lovely to meet you.
You too. Bye bye, Luis.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Peace.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.